Welcome back to Pathfinder Kingmaker. We are at the Swamp Witch's hut, and I guess it's time to see the Swamp Witch. Already read this, so let's detect magic and let's see if there's any enchantments on this gate. The gate and the bell bear a simple enchantment that alerts the caster, presumably the owner of the house, about uninvited guests. Detect magic on the scarecrow. That scarecrow looks like it might be trouble. The scarecrow's aura is strong, almost like a lightning flash to your senses. It is not a bundle of sticks and rags. It is a dangerous ward to protect the home from trespassers. Just ring the bell. Ah, she's been wearing a proper hat. What in everlasting damnation? After a few moments, the door creaks open and an old woman with a tangle of grey hair and greenish skin steps out. The old Beldame. So, what in damnation are you doing here? The old woman squints at you with disapproval. Her hair is a tangle of grey and her wrinkled skin is an unusual shade of green. Both her eyebrows and ears taper to points. I'm looking for a lost child, or rather, no, let's tell her about the coins. I've learned what happened to the village, slain the monster and freed a cursed soul. She listens to your tale, nodding her head. So, that's how it all happened. Scary thing it is, this curse and all. It would seem just a tall tale, but here we are, the village is gone. So who's to blame, do you think? Dorsey. He was the one who cursed Wilbur and Calidropsia. Maybe, but the hatred may be well earned, or at least seemed to be. Put yourself in his boots, see it through his eyes. They are dragging your beloved to the forest, her fool of a father helping them. The fellow must have truly believed he was saving her. So what would you say now? Who is to blame? Calidropsia, perhaps. She put a spell on Knight and has stolen her from Dorsey. Stolen, huh? A bride's not a sack of potatoes. She's got a mind of her own. She could decide for herself whom she liked more. Grunts. And as for putting a spell on Knight, I don't believe it. I've seen how people act under a love-binding spell, so, though I haven't seen this whole story with my own eyes, I still believe it was born from true love. So what would you say now? Who is to blame? Maybe Wilbur. He's been stalling with the decision for too long, and in the end everyone started hating him. Yes, Wilbur was always a coward. He didn't want to hurt anyone, but in so doing he hurt everyone and got retribution from both sides, his daughter and her groom. But he wished well to everyone, right? It wasn't his hatred that fueled the curse. So what would you say now? Who is to blame? What do you think? The old woman slowly smiles and shakes her head. Now more than ever, she reminds you of a fae of the forest. It's not up to me. Judging folk. Gods can judge. It's easy for them, for they know everything. The young folks can judge as well. It's even easier for them, for they know nothing. And I just keep it all in my memory. I'm looking for a lost child. Have you seen him by chance? A boy? What would I do with a brat? Pickle him in a jar? That's rich. She gives a rattling laugh. Where is it written, if an old woman likes a little peace and quiet, she must be a child-stealing witch? Who knows what could have snatched up a child? Mayhap he's been eaten by goblins or lured to the swamp by the wandering lights. Or maybe his poor, sobbing mother with all her false tears strangled him in his sleep, then put him to bed with a shovel somewhere deep in the forest and now looks for someone to mantle the blame. Go to her, squeeze answers from her, make her tell where her whelp is, but don't be bothering me. Failed a perception check. We rolled 4. Her answers ring with indignation, but you can't tell if it is genuine or not. How can I help you, good woman? Well, now we're talking. Much better than poking around where you don't belong, nattering on like a fool. Here, look. She pulls a black, oddly wrinkled mushroom from her bag on her belt. It has an odd smell about it that makes your ears tear up. This is a black rattlecap. The spore pods inside, they're the best things for the lungs and the skin. Me, I use them for tea. They're rare though, but they grow thickest at the mud bowl east of here. Get me at least 10. Yes, 10. And then we'll talk. Okay. Good riddance. I'm not sure if it's a good idea to take anything. No, she doesn't seem to be affected by that. Tiny but well-kept garden. Fish on a stick. I think that was it. Can we leave the map down here? Yes, we can. It probably won't tell us anything about that. Oh, here's another check. Mobility.
I have managed.
What the heck?
We'll do it the hard way. Your strike wasted.
The corpse of a beautiful girl lays in the middle of the glade. You can see the black stain of caked blood on her flowing dress. Despite the years that have passed since the girl's death, the body bears no signs of decay. Her pale hands, clutching a white lily, are folded on her chest peacefully, and a wreath of fresh flowers crowns her head. There is the glint of fine jewelry on the body, a necklace, earrings, and a ring on her finger. As you study the jewelry, you hear hissing voices from every direction, Fae, but despite the number of voices, you cannot see a single one. Get hence, let our knight sleep, or you will regret it. So sad and romantic. Whoever she was, someone really loved her. The ring you found at the scythe tree starts to glow softly. As it does, you hear the faint sound of a woman sobbing, but it is strangely removed, as if coming from far away. Let's take the ring you've collected at the scythe tree and put it on the body. You put the glowing ring over the girl's chest and hear a sigh of relief. Get 24 experience points. The jeers and threats of the Fae become murmurs, then dissolve into silence. Interesting. Rustling of the branches sounds like quiet weeping.
We march ahead. The deed is done.
We go then. Oh,
My
wait.
search was not in vain.
Don't think any of this was useful. No. Probably should consider getting back to the kingdom as well. So she wanted us to go to the Mud Bowl, which is over in the Camelands. I think it would be a good idea to head on back. Random encounter. Troll. Hey, look there everyone. I know that Borba. That mighty and strong one came to Trobold, killed many trolls. We had to run. This Borba killed King Hargolka, easily like smashing a hare. Strong Borba, scary like fire. Run for your life.
Become as dust.
Ah, none of them got away. Oh well. Continue. Try to avoid and evade.
Oh, time to get some rest, isn't it?
Yes. Let's cook regular hearty meal.
Amiri, I know you must understand that death is inevitable. And eventually you will have to face it.
Are you going to babble on about Brodus again? Do you see that rock? Go and hit your head on it, or I will.
Poor Harim, he's not being understood very easily by the other people. Now let's head into the throne room. Jubilost cordially greets you with a document. Baron, you will never guess what your treasurer is holding. He waves a paper above his head. The ink on it still seems wet. This is a list of things that tumbled out of the wall of your own basement as the workers were undertaking repairs. Jubilost adjusts his glasses and starts reading. A gilded guard, 1 silverware, 3, a set of old coins. The list is long and varied, so I'll get straight to the point. It appears that your workers uncovered the Staglord's secret cache, items stolen from his own henchmen. Finding the true owners of these things would be a hard and thankless job, while taking these trinkets for your own chests is complicity to expropriation. In other words, robbery. As your financial advisor, I recommend a compromise. Appraise these riches and spend an equal amount on the reviving the villages laid to waste by the bandits. Let these treasures bring some good to those who suffered the most under the Staglords. Let's follow his advice. The owners of these things might be dead or on the run. We will use them to revive the villages that suffered the most under the Staglord's reign. Jubilost nods solemnly. I knew you would follow my advice. +3 community. There's Harim. Harim mumbles to himself, pulling on his beard. Finally, he notices you. Caledorn, allow me to speak for those who cannot protect themselves and their faith. The priests of Erastil and the priests of the other gods, they've all turned against the ancient faiths that once flourished in the stolen lands, now long since passed into eternity. Their final traces are the ancient shrines and idols which lay hid among the swamps and woods, symbols of transience and decay. They wish to demolish these idols. They seek to destroy with fire and chisel all that would remind them that all things must come to an end. Harim strokes his beard broodingly. Whoever it was that wants to worship these idols, their faith deserves our respect. It is your decision, but I would not destroy these ritual places just because the god they are devoted to isn't well known. I myself serve such a god, often decried by ignorant tongues. We will leave the idols where they stand. Someone worships them, and we've no right to interfere. Harim nods gravely. That is the right decision, Caledorn. +1 community, +2 loyalty. Castle Aldori, Your Grace. Today, a letter from Brevoy was delivered to the castle. It was written by Fredero Sinnet, a paladin from the Order of the Eternal Rose. It appears that Sir Sinnet is claiming right to one of your companions who was brought up in his custody. Well, I'll leave it to you to handle this delicate matter. The letter said, The expensive monogrammed paper has a faint tangy smell. The lines in steady delicate handwriting are decorated by whimsical curves. My dear Baron Caledorn, I write these words with a heavy heart. The reason I take up my quill today will most likely upset you. Quite recently I heard rumor that a lost soul, once blessed with the mercy of my goddess, has found shelter in your service. I'm speaking of the daughter of one of the most worthy and generous patrons of the Order of the Eternal Rose, who once made the mistake of leaving our ranks. I am deeply convinced that now is the time for her to return to the path destined by her divine will. I am now traveling to the west, to the place that's been chosen for the new temple of Shellin that will be occupied by one of the young congregations of our church. I deemed it necessary to diverge slightly from our path with but one purpose: to arrive in your lands and collect Valerie. May this journey be a cleansing pilgrimage for Shellin's chosen, whose judgment was clouded by the impulsiveness of youth. I request that you free Valerie of her vows of service to you, for fate has destined her to serve the one who is above us all. Direct the girl to the trading post that's on the border between your barony and Brevoy. There I will be expecting her with my comrades. I pray for your wisdom and mercy. With deep respect and regards, Fredero Sinnet. That doesn't sound too good. Unfazed by the awkward silence, Bokken searches through his bag for quite a while. Finally, he pulls out a sizable brown paper package. There you go, a little something from old Bokken. Get a potion of protection from arrows, one of Eagle Splendor, and one of protection from fire. If you ever need anything in particular, just let me know. If you're not sure, I'll go home and think of something myself. My bones ache. Thank you. This will prove useful. You may go now. My pleasure. Bokken gives you a sideways look, then turns his eye to the ceiling. I only hope that no one throws it away or leaves it to rot in some old chest. Oh well. Oh, and while I'm here, there's a book that I've always wanted to read. Of transmutations and bodily poisons. In 3 volumes. If you were ever to find it for me, I could produce something most remarkable for you. Something that might even... Bokken cuts himself short. Oh well, there's no use in empty words, but they say there's an ancient formula hidden in one of these books. Bring me the books, and I'll brew the potion for you. I know that the old Beldame, the old witch who lives in the swamp, had one of these volumes in her hut, gathering dust. You must still have it for sale, I imagine. As for the other 2 volumes, I have no idea. You might look in a magic shop or in the bookcases and locked drawers of other alchemists, if you happen to across their possessions in your adventures. Bokken grins, bows to you, and leaves the throne room with a shuffling walk. Okay, so let's go to the Kingdom Affairs. News has arrived from the largest observatory in the 5 Kings Mountains. The enchanted lens of their main telescope broke. The destruction of such a powerful artifact caused a gust of enchanted wind, which is now moving towards the region of the barony. You should seize this opportunity. This is an opportunity, so... Then we have the Howling Wolves. Wolves are breeding at a surprising rate. The local forests are full of the ravenous beasts, and there's not enough quarry to feed them all. The starving wolves howl at night to gather into packs and attack the villages. Failure. The people answered the region's call to unite and slaughter the wolves. However, when the wolves approached the village walls on the night of their raid, the would-be hunters fled to their homes in fear. The beasts ran through the settlement unchallenged and devoured the helpless livestock. -1 loyalty and -1 military. Then we have the bandits' outrage. Success. Relying on the services of mercenaries, the treasurer managed to put an end to the bandit attacks. The roads of the barony are safer not only for the locals but for merchants as well. Economy +4 and 25 BP. Fey magic. Triumph. The councillor's servant arrested the mischievous Fey and compelled him to repair the damage that he'd done. Loyalty +3. The River Maiden. Success. The priests assembled the fishermen and log drivers and expelled the mermaid from her watery meadows. +3 divine. Treasurer requests your attention. The Baron granted the advisor an audience to discuss the matter at hand. +1 economy. High Priest seeks your advice. Did the same there. +1 divine. And then the letter for the ruler, which was read and sent to the archives. Okay, so we have 3 curses going on. I don't like that it takes so long. Really don't want to put my advisors in these 60 and 45 days projects. Oh, righty. That's not important. We are not going to pillage it. 60 days is too much. 15 days. Plus 1 BP per week. And it costs 100. That means we need to be 101 weeks before... Yikes. Research into the nature of curses. The bald hilltop. Talented recruits. Plus 1 bonus to resolving any problem with the general. 14 days. It's 50 BP. Support the general. I think they rank up. Yeah, we have plenty of rank ups at the moment. Regions. We can claim the South Gnarl Marches now. Let's do that. We don't have enough BP. Can we buy, say, 200 of that? Get them. Oh. And we have declared the South Gnarl Marches a part of our kingdom. Good. Region upgrades are not available yet. Oh. Can found a settlement in that region. This looks like a good place. Call it Fortune Fix. Build stuff here. Need to build as a bulletin board. And other than that, we have very little BP left, so guess we should rank up as well. Now we have an important document. Ranked up to level 2 military. We have to go to the throne room then. Paladin is probably angry with us now. We received a letter from Brevoy concerning Oleg's trading post. I must admit, Lady Jamandi wasn't pleased by your request to surrender jurisdiction over Oleg's trading post to you. The Aldori take matters of allegiance and loyalty very seriously. Nevertheless, I was able to convey your position and clear the air. I believe I'll be able to persuade the Aldori to not demand a year's worth of Oleg's taxes from you. However, repairing the road falls entirely to us. Thank you, Cassil. We'll repair the road. My pleasure, Your Grace. The new road will increase trade with Restov, which should profit everyone involved. Great news, Your Grace. Maegor Varn, Lord of Varnhold, wants to form an alliance with you and establish a trade route between your lands. Here is Lord Varn's letter. See for yourself. Most Honourable Baron Caledorn, this is Maegor Varn, the ruler of the neighbouring city of Varnhold, writing. You might remember meeting me at the reception. Our encounter had a powerful effect on me. You are a brave warrior and a wise ruler, which is why I hope to enlist your support and, in the future, form a firm friendship. No matter whether the gods or the sword lords have contributed to us becoming neighbours, I believe that our alliance will be as steadfast as a rock. To signify the formation of our alliance, I invite you to visit Varnhold and see for yourself that my intentions are good. The city is still young, but we have a lot to show our guests. Our cellars are full of wine barrels and our storehouses of grain and cheese. It is easy to reach my city. The path to Varnhold lies in the east, past Lake Silverstep and over the ridge of the Tors of the Levanese. Hard to get lost in these parts. Whether you accept my invitation or not, I ask of you one more thing. Consider building a route and developing trade between our lands. I am convinced that both of us would only benefit from this union. I anxiously await your visit. Respectfully yours, Baron Mager Varn. Okay. Eneo, the travelling merchant. Eneo, a half-elf merchant who recently appeared in the capital, falls to the floor in front of you. Jaethal stands beside him, looking quite unlike her normal self. Usually cold and stiff, the face of the undead elf now burns with rage. Despite his nearness to his furious undead captor, Eneo looks concerned but unafraid. If you allow me to speak, I can explain everything. I hope you can, half-blood, otherwise... Jaethal hisses and turns to you. Have I told you the sad story of my death? It is sad most of all because I do not remember how my life ended. I wandered, exhausted, through the wastelands beyond the borders of Kyonin, until I could barely see my path. I stopped to rest, or perhaps I lost consciousness. When I came to my senses, I heard the call of my goddess returning me from the dead. Was it poison, magic, illness? Whatever stole my life away, it left no trace. I thought this mystery would haunt me forever, but then I entered the shop of this half-blood, seeking some reminder of Kyonin, and what did I discover there? My very own dagger. Jaethal shows you an elven-crafted dagger with a chipped blade and empty sockets, where once gemstones adorned the handle. This dagger disappeared the same night I was taken by death. How could this half-blood have obtained it? Let him speak, Jaethal. Anger will not help us learn the truth. That is why, Jaethal pauses, respecting your authority, I have brought this pathetic huckster here, rather than getting the truth out of him by my own methods. The half-elf rises to his feet and sighs, putting its clothes in order. Thank you for allowing me to speak, Your Grace. The story is not very exciting, certainly not as exciting as my tale of the drunken regatta within the Eye of Abendego. Yesterday, north of the city, I stumbled upon a dead boar. There was no one around, but the dagger was protruding from the miserable beast's neck. I don't know why the owner would have left it in the carcass. Perhaps the beast escaped from the hunter, taking along the weapon that had injured it? So I inadvertently decided to keep the item I'd found, thanking my luck and never suspecting the price I'd pay for it. Eneo, you face serious accusations. Are you sure you can say nothing more in your defense? I would be glad if I could, but alas, the bright yellow-green eyes of the half-elf are calm. The dead boar is my only witness, but I believe in your justice, Baron. I have faith that you will investigate my story and sort everything out. We will investigate this matter further. Let's start by checking Eneo's story and seek out this unfortunate boar. Jaethal bows gracefully. I am grateful. It is important to me. And you, half-blood, should pray for our success. If you are lying, I shall find a surer way to get the truth from you. A young dwarf in worn-out clothes shows you a scroll of fine paper with an expensive seal. He speaks ceremoniously like a herald. Greetings. My name is Dragon Voradash. I come to you, Your Grace, with a request, or to be precise, to receive compensation. The Road of Shields used to run through your lands. It was built, among others, by my ancestors, members of the noble Voradash clan. This means they still own it, even though they were driven from these lands. According to all law, if a bandit takes my father's house and kills him, the house still belongs to me. So, I've come for what's mine. Here, take a look. This scroll contains a list of expenses for building the Road of Shields. Cost of laying the stone, draining, cutting fire breaks, and so on. You and your people have lived for a long time on lands that lawfully belong to my people, making free use of the fruits of someone else's labor. Would you now please pay for the work my ancestors did? I, Drang Waradash, humbly demand compensation for those who are no longer able to collect. I do not ask for gold. It is better that you give me a house with a shop, which will cost as much as the sum in the scroll. You see, I'm a blacksmith, and I'm used to earning my living honestly. But I cannot work without a shop. As soon as I get what's mine, I'll open the shop right away, and then you'll have at least one decent bladesmith. Having a blacksmith sounds good. Fine, I will do as you ask. The dwarf blinks several times, surprised. You agree? Just like that? Seriously, I never thought I'd meet, in this land of thieves, a ruler who so honored the law. You are truly a worthy ruler. Well then, I guess we will meet again when you satisfy my petition. My respects. How much that's gonna cost us. Okay, so we got that quest. From Brevoy, +1 economy, -2 relations. Letter from Magar Varn. Faithful in Fury. Ooh. It's 100 BP. New face. Rebuilt capital into lively town. Road to Oleg's trading post. And then trade agreement with Magar Varn. That one isn't too bad, but it's still 37 or 38 days. This one needs to be tended immediately, though. Okay, there's one final thing that I want to show you in this episode. Let's go back into my room and the chest. Let's grab all of these artifacts. There's an easier way to do this without having to put things back in the chest. Okay. Now there are some letters that probably should be back. Here's the letter from Jamandi Aldori. Can read that if you want. There. Then there's the letter from Magar Varn. One from Fredero Sinet. We'll keep that in our inventory for now. We need to talk to Valerie about that. As for the rest of this, it's fine. Let's go back out. And then there's this old man standing down here, the Storyteller. The man standing before you resembles an elf, but a very old one. His face is wrinkled and his beard is as white as mountain snow, and seems to be completely blind. The old man stares past you with unseeing eyes. He seems to be consumed in his thoughts. He mutters a soft melody, swaying back and forth slightly to its rhythm. The man shudders briefly and stops singing. His mouth opens and closes a few times, bringing to mind a fish brought ashore. Ah, who is there? Is that you, your grace? Who are you? I am an elf from Caledorn. My name is not important. I am the Storyteller, collector of stories. I collect unknown legends of ancient times. The man smiles, but it doesn't seem to be directed toward you. Long ago, I was a smith, Caledorn. The fire of the forge has burned out my eyes, but I am grateful for it. If I could see, I would yet forge suits of armor for Iadara's guards. Instead, I have stepped on the path of an adventurer and gatherer of ancient legends. The old man ponders silently for a moment. Many peoples are long dead, their homes crumbled to dust and their bodies turned to ash. Only legends can still tell us of their triumphs and defeats, their joys and fears. I would be so interested to hear the stories told about us after our demise. I have always been drawn to the stolen lands where countless expeditions, armies, and even kingdoms have met their untimely ends. When I learned of a new barony being founded in the heart of these lands, I knew I wanted to be part of his story. So I made the journey here. Are you really an elf? Other elves age like you have? A common question. Despite my unusual looks, I am an elf. An old one, yes. Perhaps older than any other elf of Caledorn. However, I doubt my age alone is responsible for my appearance. I keep the stories of many people and races, some forever gone from the face of Golarion. But they live on in my memory and my heart. When I accept a new story, I lock it within myself, bearing the weight of its words and the emotions they invoke. I sometimes think that I probably should have died long ago, but some incomprehensible force is keeping me alive and granting me the ability to continue my quest to gather stories. Be it divine power or fell curse, I am grateful either way. How could you tell it was me? The old man smiles slightly. It is not so hard to recognize a ruler by the way he walks. No one in here steps as confidently as you, your grace. All right, care to trade stories with me? The man's voice rustles like autumn leaves. I am a collector, not a trader. If I share a story with you, you receive the power to pass it further, changing or embellishing it, whether willingly or not. Can I be certain you will keep my stories intact in their absolute purity? The storyteller ponders for several moments. No, I do not think so, at least not yet. These legends are the most precious valuables of this world, the last remnants of ancient tribes. They are beacons illuminating the way to the past, allowing us to meet generations long gone. I cannot let their light fade. The path to the past must not be lost. The old man thinks for a moment, then continues. But I can offer you a deal, Grace. If on your journeys you discover items that come from eras past, bring them to me. And if my eyes can see the stories that these relics hold, I will gladly share them with you. And if you find all the pieces of any ancient artifacts, I can even recall my smithing skills to unite them and restore their power. I've brought some relics. Are any worthy of a story? The storyteller's eyebrows raise. How interesting. May I, your grace? It gently touches the items from the pack. A coin from a non-existent country. When Corral the Conqueror mastered Rostland, having claimed it for Brevoy, he prohibited the issuance and use of such coins. Both ordinary folk and the Eldori sword lords were required to use new coins decorated with Coral's profile. But no one was quick to be rid of these prohibited coins, oh no. In many houses they still store boxes and whole chests of such coins, waiting for the day when Rostland declares its independence. Get 3,200 gold coins for the ancient Rostlandic coins that we have had in our inventory. The storyteller touches the pendant with Torag's mark. Oh, symbol of Torag. The children of stone wear such pendants as protective talismans. I will gladly purchase any you have. Get 4,400 coins for the pendants. The storyteller's fingers caress the symbol shaped like a tree leaf. And what is this? I hear the voices of trees, smell the scent of fresh leaves. A dryad mark, is it not? I would be happy to purchase it from you. 5,100 gold coins for the tokens of the dryad. The storyteller idly toys with the ancient plain-looking coin. What was the name of the Caledorn ruler who issued this coin? Anyone remember now? What did the Cyclops use it to purchase? Food? Books? Weapons? Perhaps someone's life or their freedom? Who can say? Its history was erased by the Earthfall, but I will buy it from you for significantly more than it was worth in its time. Get 400 gold coins for the ancient Cyclops coin. The storyteller weighs the soldier's tag in his palm. A soldier does not ask where the banners of war are headed. He or she goes to battle, dies, and leaves it to others to decide whether the cause was just. This tag belonged to one of the many warriors who helped establish the glory of the Taldan Empire. If you would permit me, I would gladly purchase it from you. 1,500 coins for the Taldan warriors' dog tags. Ah, the belongings of brave heroes who performed their feats here before you. I sense you would be interested to hear their stories, but there are too few of them here for me to recount it yet. Please, find all 5 of them. I am sure you won't regret the time you spend in the search. Oh, now here is something truly impressive. These items once belonged to a dwarven smith. They wish to tell us their story. I hear the booming strokes of a hammer, the sizzling sparks and roaring flame of the forge. The anvil, it sings. The air is so fresh, it is like I am back home in the woods of my motherland. I can feel a soft breeze through my hair. The storyteller takes a deep breath and laughs. Some of the 5 items are still missing though, Caledorn, so the full story of this forest remains a mystery to me. I would be happy to trade the whole set of items for their story. Can you hear it calling to us? Let us hurry. Tell me the story of the singing anvil. I see the flames of the forge. It is so close I can touch it. Heat sears my face and the sparks sting my cheeks. But there is no fear in my soul, only admiration and reverence for the work of an artist. The storyteller seems to be in some sort of trance. His unseeing eyes reflect the flames of a forge that burned out long ago. 10,000 gold coins and 1,125 experience for the soot-blackened set of 5 items. I am Kolgan, apprentice of the great Zarif, first smith of the Bronze Shield Fortress, and I am fascinated by the work of a true master. The smith's hammer is raised in the air, the forge bellows roar, the sparks sizzle and rhythmic ringing fills the room. The anvil, called the searing palm, replies with a happy booming voice. This music, this song overwhelms my being. I feel a tear of joy run down my cheek and hastily wipe it away, for it is proof of my weakness. The tongs in my hand are covered with soot. I help the master all I can, but I am not allowed to raise my own hammer over the anvil. Master Zarif protects his anvil zealously, won't let anyone else near it. It usually offends me, but not now. Now, my heart follows the ringing beat of a fiery song. Please continue. All I hear is silence. Bronze Shield Fortress is sound asleep, save for the blinking of the signal bonfires. No one knows of the blasphemy about to be committed in the heart of the fortress. The storyteller chokes down a lump in his throat. I push open the door of the smithy. I fear the door's squeal of protest will wake everyone, but silence quickly returns. I take a step inside. I stoke the fire and don my soot-smeared apron. Long have I dreamt of the anvil. It calls to me. Its alluring voice captivates me. Its ringing is full of promise. Tonight I will work the anvil myself. Tonight I'll become a creator, and Master Zarif, upon seeing my work, will be forced to accept me as his equal. The fire rises to the ceiling and I raise my hammer to make the first stroke. Something's wrong. When did I make a mistake? The storyteller's face collapses. The anvil, it won't sing. It moans under my hammer. Instead of sweet music, I hear cries of pain begging me to stop. I clench my teeth and strike again, and again, and again. I will make it work. It will sing for me, even if I must torture it to do so. The moans of the anvil become a monotonous rumble, but I can't stop. The smithy door swings open and Master Zarif stands before me, disheveled and furious. He screams curses at me, but I can't hear them. The metal of my work crumbles under my hammer, but I can't see it. My eyes are blinded by tears. The storyteller shakes his head to clear it of the visions, a weary smile on his face. Well, that's it. What happened to you? I mean, to Colgan? He left. Hung his apron on the hook, tossed away his hammer and tongs, and left Bronze-Shield Fortress. Deep in his heart, Colgan knew that Master Zarif was right all along. Colgan's hammer would never create a masterpiece. Hard work is a poor substitute for inspired talent. Colgan turned his eyes to Droskar. The god of the Dark Dwarves accepted this new follower. The Duergar gave Colgan shelter and provided him with unceasing, tiresome work. Work that required no talent, just endless routine. He crafted weapons for the Duergar army, and nobody expected masterpieces of him. He soon forgot all about the searing palm, Master Zarif, and the blasphemy he had committed. And it seems to me that there, in the dark tunnels, serving Droskar, Colgan finally found happiness. What happened to the anvil after that? It lost its voice. Bronze-Shield Fortress never again heard it sing, the storyteller sighs. It was still functional, and the weapons made on it were durable, but nothing more. No master ever managed to craft a masterpiece there again. The dwarven weapons gradually lost their enchantments, and defending against local dangers became increasingly difficult. I suppose Colgan's desecration was a strong contributor to the dwarves' eventual abandonment of the fortress. Thank you for the story, storyteller. The storyteller inclines his head respectfully. I need a wise advisor at my court. Would you like to serve me in matters of state? The storyteller's voice grows soft. Thank you for your words. I am unlikely to be able to interpret the intricacies of the political world or the affairs of the treasury, but my advice regarding the magic of the arts would be useful to any ruler. I will leave you to your legends until we meet again. The storyteller doesn't answer, his unseeing eyes staring ahead blankly. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you, and that took a bit longer than I expected. But that's where we bring the artifacts to. Now, I will end the episode, and in between episodes I will do selling and stuff so that we get more money, and I also need to buy more BP so that we can do some of those quests that we have on the Kingdom Affairs table. But for now, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you all next time.